All right, can you guys hear me? Or am I talking to myself? Am I talking to myself? I'm sorry, guys. I have no clue what happened there. I'm so frustrated right now. Everything was so good. My graphics card updated, and I guess it crashed OBS. Get King back in here. I sent him an invite. So you can or cannot hear me. One of you said no, the rest said yes. Okay, we can hear you. All right, I appreciate it. All right, can you hear me, King? King,
You hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
You hear me?
we're back. Apologize for that, guys. I don't know what happened with that. I'm not. I'm not going to show anything else on the middle screen. Let's
All right.
just
So what is showing right now on my screen? It's showing that we're not live.
on my end. It says we're
It
live.
says upcoming.
Yeah, people in the chat saying we're good.
Okay, let me close that. Let me go to Iron Lord's channel itself. And let me do it again. It's no problem. As long as they saying it's fine. I don't care. All right. There we go. There we go. Yeah. It's saying we're live now. I had to click out, leave, and come right back. I'm back, baby.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See that's where I got it confused from.
Yeah,
Boba
the Book of
Fett
Boba.
is where everything went down at.
That's what I was saying. I was like, he left at the end of season 2. Luke came and got him, and then you had the Book of Boba, and excuse me, the Book of Boba got him back with the Mandalorian, and now that we have season 3, that's when they're gonna kick off. And I mean, it's good. You know, I love the funny dynamic where Pedro Pascal is a daddy to everybody in the universe, from Ellie to Grogu. So he can't escape it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I personally enjoy him more in this than I do in Last of Us. I think
Why?
he
Because his face is covered.
nah. I maybe it's because I have more of a personal connection with Joel, and I personally feel like some of the things he's done in the show, Joel wouldn't do, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I get it. I
It
do.
makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Oh my god, you're
it,
ridiculous.
it makes so much sense that you're biased in your video game knowledge. Listen, I hated him in the Mandalorian. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I hated him in the Mandalorian. It is because of him they had to change the script around, and because he wanted to take his face out and he wanted to be seen, and he was making such a big problem. I was like, yo, get him out of there and recast him. But they stuck with him, and I guess they're going to go back to a form and fashion in this season. And this season, he's going to keep his helmet on. He's going to go get reinitiated, and he's going to lock his face away. So I don't want to hear no more of Joel or Pedro Pascal or whoever he want to be sticking his face out. Don't mess up my characters. You know how I feel about Hugh Jackman. Same thing. But what's your rating that you give this episode?
Uh, I give it a 3.
You give it a 3. I
Yeah.
give I give it a 4 off of everything that they showed, the potential of future episodes, and the fact that Pedro didn't take his face out.
Look, I put the emotes together. It looks like a bunch of popcorn sitting around each other.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel you. I think that this is a good first episode. Obviously, we're not going to see like a lot of plot in the first
Oh,
40, 50
definitely not.
minutes. But I do think this did a good job establishing expectation and boundaries on what this season, for the most part, is going to be about. So
Many.
let's go on to, man. King, we're gonna talk about Creed 3. You gave me a little bit of bars before IOP. I'm a eat my Jolly Ranchers and listen to you talk about Creed 3 because I didn't watch it. And to be honest with you, if I would have went and watched it, it was only because of this thing. I don't normally watch boxing shows, but go. I'm listening.
I'm a huge Rocky fan. Rocky 1 holds a huge place in my heart. I believe the Rocky movies are masterpieces in cinema art. Right? I believe that this it's a staple in Americana. It's a part of the fabric of conversation. It's so steeped in Americana that Sylvester Stallone is not a real boxer, yet he has a statue in Philadelphia for a fictional character from a movie. That's how steep is in Americana. Philadelphia is the home of the Philly fighters.
Born and raised,
Joe Frazier, left hook. You got Bernard Hopkins. It's crazy how Philadelphia is known for boxing and it's known for Rocky. Those steps. People run up those steps and put their hands in the air like Rocky. You ever had all the ingredients for something, but you had the wrong chef and the food don't come out right? This food ain't come out right. There's no way that you have Michael B. Jordan, that I thought Creed 1 was successful. I thought Creed 2 was successful. So Michael B. Jordan can act in Creed 1 and he can act in Creed 2. There's a no-brainer for Creed 3. You have Jonathan Majors with just his eyes and his face. He can act his way around tons of people, circles around him. He didn't do anything in Loki, and his Kang was phenomenal. Just from the acting part, just from the thought of what he's going to do to you later was great. Lovecraft Country, beautiful. He's a great actor. All the pieces were there. Michael Kugler and Michael B. Jordan didn't direct this film, didn't land the ship, didn't do what they were supposed to do. The movie feels like a TikTok movie.
Oh, God.
It feels rushed. Everything is rushed. From the moment they're in the ring, it's rushed. From the moment his boy gets home, it's rushed. From the first fight scene, it's rushed. The fighters feel like amateurs. Their style is amateuristic. You go to watch Rocky films to get inspired. You go to get the feeling of combat. There was no heart in this movie. There was no soul in this movie. There was no Sylvester Stallone, and Sylvester Stallone is the one who does the scripts. You take the person who made it. This was my fear with The Last of Us. Is Neil Druckmann around? And those episodes that Neil didn't have his fingers in kind of fall flat. Well, Sylvester didn't have his fingers in any of this script. And it falls flat. This is absolutely the worst Rocky movie, Creed movie put out. The worst. I will take the one with Tommy Morrison over this one any day. Yo, Tommy, my ring is outside. Y'all know that. He goes out and he fights Tommy Gunn outside. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. His son, the dynamics, the heart, the soul. He's watching his son is watching him train Tommy Gunn, and he's not training his son. It's these little things that Rocky movies bring. If you go watch Creed 1, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Creed 3 is absolute trash. I don't care what marketing says. I don't care what and it's not an indictment on the actors. Everybody there, like Attic says, it ain't his fault. He don't care. I want results.
It's the same way that, you know, people feel about games. The result and how you play the game and the end results is all people care about. No one's going to care about the difficulties that happen during development. Sure, you can take that in consideration, but at the end of the day, that doesn't stop the final result from coming out.
And the result was trash. I sat there and I watched the movie. You know, my son was like, "Oh, it's cool," and my wife was like, "It's cool." Then we sat down, and this is what I do. I start breaking down the movies. I start playing the movies back in my head. Some movies I got to go watch a couple of times. But I would never have to watch this movie a couple of times to come up to the same thing. Every Rocky film, you go round by round. They did 2 rounds and then came back and said, "All right, round 11. What the? What? None of the moves that he was able to do that's Dame, that's Jonathan Major's character, Diamond Dame. None of the moves that he was able to do before he used here. He gets a title shot off of his first professional fight. What the hell is this? And what made up fantasy world is this crap admissible? It was trash.
That's one of the reasons.
Absolute garbage.
That's one of the reasons I stopped watching UFC. Is because of Dana White.
Oh, it seems like Dana White had control of this because you would have hated this. I'm so happy that you didn't get a chance to see it. I'm so happy that you didn't have to go to the movie theater and see this. I'm so happy because when you said, "Well, you know, I got to drive this way to the AMC that's over there," and he was like, "Well, you know, can you do it or whatever?" And I was like, "Good." After, because I saw it already, and I was like, "Oh hell no, Addict." Listen, if you can get other means to go watch it, go watch it.
Was Scream about to come out?
Yeah, Scream comes out this week, I believe, or a couple of weeks.
I do gotta watch that,
because I gotta do Scream, and next week I gotta do this week I gotta do Operation Fortune, the Guy Ritchie film. I was gonna do it on Monday, but we would have had too much stuff on the show, so I'm gonna do that this week. I'm gonna do it definitely on Friday. Next week I gotta do Shazam. So I think Scream comes out the 23rd.
Next week is I guess we'll do a Scream spoiler cast. I don't. Let me ask you this. I'll actually, we'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah.
I feel you on this. I felt the disgust, but what's funny? I see people on Twitter saying it was a lit show movie.
You know why?
I'm just saying. Okay, so people, it was a lit movie.
Yeah, people on Twitter, Yobi, you just saved me a few bucks. I'll catch it when it comes out to physical. That's on God. You said, and Scream is on what? What day does Scream come out? Anybody know? Hit me in the chat. What day does Scream come out? On the 10th? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I got to see it next week. So we'll be talking about Scream, and we'll be talking about Operation Fortune. And then Mario comes out soon. We have a lot of movies coming up. My popcorn rating for this, and we don't give zeros here because everybody puts in effort. It's a 1 popcorn. It's a 1 popcorn.
What is it? Is there at least butter on the popcorn?
There's no butter on the popcorn, and some of the kernels are burnt.
So we got a burnt 1 popcorn.
Absolutely. I was looking forward to this. Everborn hit me up and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go see Creed on Friday. Did you see it yet? Because we was gonna, rent the movie theater out and go watch it at the movie theater." I told him, bro, hold that for John Wick.
You know, because we are going to be in the same facility for John Wick. Um, we should do like an in-person pre-recording.
Oh
We
yeah, yeah,
can't
we
do the
definitely.
live one, but what we'll do for you guys is because it will be the Lords. I will
Yeah,
convince Cog and Saw because we'll be all together for PAX East, and me, Cog, Saul we'll do a pre-recording of our thoughts on John Wick, and that will be the spoiler cast for that week.
yeah. I'm gonna record it. I'll have the camera set up and stuff like that, and I'm gonna see if we can get a chance to do it in the movie. I'll bring my tripod and bring the light and stuff, and we'll try to do that because we'll only be in PAX. So we already said that we'll catch dinner in a movie, and that'll be the movie that we'll catch John Wick. But I've never been more heartbroken with seeing all the perfect ingredients to win and for them not to land the plane. It just it didn't mix. And I dare anybody, if you challenge me on this, I dare anybody go watch Creed 1 and put it up against Creed 3 one-on-one. Anybody.
Anybody.
And you're gonna walk away saying, nah, that dude's right. That dude's absolutely right.
So I mean, it comes down to it. King definitely gives it a one popcorn without butter and some burnt
Kernels.
Yeah, burnt kernels. Next week we'll be talking about Scream. So man, I got to make sure I go see Scream this weekend now. I didn't even think about that. Like time's just flying so fast.
Yep.
It's a 40-minute drive I got to make.
Well, be 40 minutes
Scream.
to get to the movies. It's only 7 minutes for myself. That's me on the highway doing 75.
That. That's pretty much the show, guys. I apologize for splitting this up into two. I know that's annoying, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that.
At least we here to finish it.
Yeah, what's funny is we came back just so you can rant about Creed.
I mean, it is what it is, but if anybody can save a buck, listen, I'm going to give you my honest opinion on things. And if I feel something isn't worth your money, because we was going to talk about the Chris Rock special. We want to give him a bonus about the Chris Rock real quick before it becomes irrelevant by next week.
We could talk about that.
All right, so watch the Chris Rock special, and it's called Selective Outrage.
It's on Netflix.
It's
actually the very first live show that Netflix has ever done was that Chris Rock special.
It's
I liked it.
I'm gonna tell you. If that thing is an hour long, 50 minutes of it is whatever. 50 minutes of it is him dancing around the true subject, what everybody wants
that
to hear about.
Everybody's there for. And you know what? I gotta respect Chris Rock because he knew.
Yep.
What happened to him, he could cash out. Netflix probably paid that man so much money because everyone knew what was up. Like,
yep.
and you know what's funny? Obviously, he brings up the slap. That, and you could tell. Is it me, King? When I was listening to this to this comedy, it really didn't seem like he wanted to talk about it.
No, he didn't.
It seemed like, okay, I have to talk about it because that's why everyone wants, and I got to make sure it's funny, and I got to bring the bars. But he didn't go in on Will that I thought he was going to. He did the cool little, funny little jokes, took a couple jabs at Jada, and pretty much got out of there.
Like
you could tell he respects Will, even though he did that.
That's the problem.
You could tell he respects Will, and he hated that it happened.
He said that Will was somebody that he loved, that it was somebody that he rooted for, and somebody that he always wanted to win. He said out of everybody, when the stuff happened to him, he called him. He said he didn't pick up my phone call, but I called him. And for everybody to be dissing you, and you pick on the guy that you know you could beat, I think that probably hurts the most because it was that telling part right there. No man ever wants to say that he knows that somebody can beat him. I don't give a hell who you are. Weak, strong, whatever. Nobody wants to say, oh, yeah, that guy can beat me. But the fact of the matter is, he is probably 2 times his size. And I mean, and he kept it funky. He kept it a buck. I gotta give Chris Rock this. I didn't find the comedy special funny,
I
but
thought it
that
was okay.
last 10, 15 minutes, he was on fire. And he was on fire because he was talking from his heart and he was talking from his soul. And I have to
And you
respect that. He
you could
didn't
tell
want
a
to do it.
little bit during the beginning he was nervous getting to the end.
Yeah.
Like
The build up was crazy.
yeah, and I think here's the question to you,
Because he
King.
messed up the joke.
Yeah, the Jada joke.
Yeah, he messed up the
Yeah,
joke and he had
because
to
you could.
fix the joke, the concussion joke
Mm-hmm.
for the movie. He had to fix it and then he went right back into it.
Yeah, and I want to know how you feel like Will needs to respond to this.
I think Will should shut up.
I do
The
too.
same thing I said about
100%.
OJ. Go shut up and sit down.
To me, Will went on that stage and smacked that dude. He had this roast coming. There was
Yeah.
nothing he could have done on that. I think if Will just buckers up, ignores the situation, maybe even take it as a joke and say, funny. I think he should just completely keep quiet. But if he makes any statement, it better be going along with it. It better not be going against it.
He just better just shut up. Just don't say nothing at all. The most poetic thing that Chris Rock said was they kept asking him, "How come you didn't do anything?"
He was like,
I was raised by my parents not to fight in front of white folks.
He was
and
like,
that is so true. Addict, I'm going to tell you, old school black parents, old school black grandparents. I tell you, because I remember with my black grandma, that's my father's side. Other one, the rest of her soul is Puerto Rican. We in Macy's and we downtown. And me and my little cousin is, tussling up in there. Don't you fight in front of these white folks. You still. And I'm laughing in my head when he said it. Because this is what's been told to us. And for him to say it in the crowd, for him to say it on a live, he beat Will Smith at his own game in his face. I was raised right. My mom is in the crowd. I'm going to be better than you. Yeah. And that cuts like a knife.
And plus, when it happened, I was like, okay, if it would have been another person that doesn't have a comedy background, a comedian background, I would have been like, you're bugging, but I understand. But the fact that a comedian went up there, a former comedian that hasn't really practiced, but he knows the practices, and slapped him, made it 10 times worse. And the fact that no one reprimanded that dude, no one escorted Will off that stage, no one escorted him out of that building. They literally, low-key, let Chris Rock continue being a host to something after he was just assaulted.
Oh, hold on one second. Dragonheart Yobi. I love this man.
What'd he do?
You're a very, very, very cool dude. Not only, when Halo was coming out, the Paramount thing, he just sent me Samuel Jackson on Fortnite skin. And I just read it right
Naruto.
There. Yo, we gonna hook up, brother. I owe you something. We gonna get some sushi or something. We gonna hang out, bro. I owe you that. I thank you so much.
I've been meaning to jump back on Fortnite, but
you better.
When it comes to that, Will, just take it like a champ. Don't talk about it, because it's like, if you take this and you don't say nothing and you move on with your life and you just pretty much have that mentality, I had that coming, I was in the wrong, it is what it is, and you move on, I guarantee you that works better than you responding. Because if you respond, it's just gonna look more like
it's gonna get worse for him. But the funniest thing, the best part that Chris Rock did when he said that, I was raised by my parents, that's an indictment on Will's parents. Because you don't have any home training and you're outside acting a fool. And there's no coming back from that. You're nothing that you're gonna say. There's no excuse. There's no reason why. I was in the moment. There's nothing. And he did it with class and dignity. Like he took the smack with class and dignity. He said, y'all took the smack like Pacquiao. The last 15 minutes of that special was Chris Rock in rare form. If anything, any trepidations up into that, and it was mid. But that last 15 minutes,
he was like, he's, I'm gonna say B. I'm not gonna say the word.
Yeah,
he was like, everybody called him a B. The football players, the rapper players, and he smacks me.
He said, "Drink champs called you a B." Everybody, yeah, man.
What I like the most, he said, is that woman hurt him way more than he hurt me. Like, because he didn't need to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of was like, look, we still beefing, but I get what you going through, at home.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a real eye-opening piece of comedy for you to go check out. If you didn't see it, go see it. And have a good time seeing it. Just leave me your responses, what y'all think about it. Listen, a lot of you guys join the Patreon. We've seen an uptake in the Patreon and people actually, joining the Patreon and having conversation with us. You can ask us questions. It's a whole bunch of things back there for y'all to do. You can check the reactions that we do. We recorded some today. Those stuff is going to go up. Attic is really anticipating the reaction that I'm going to do for the last one. I think we went on a little bit long today, so we'll probably just do the next reaction probably another day. But he did Chainsaw Man. I'm doing Attack on Titan. I did the whole first season. Well, I got one more episode, and I finished the first season. Then I'm going to jump into the second season, and I'm so on and so on and so on until I can catch up to Attic. But I gotta watch it because my wife wants to watch Attack on Titan. She's addicted to this. I don't even know why.
Yeah, so
this is ridiculous.
If we end right now, can we just finish that last episode?
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
We're gonna end the podcast, guys. I got to get this last episode so I can actually schedule these out. But I appreciate it for coming through, and we will see